In this video, we're going to be talking about three things. I'm going to go over my current full build for RC Drift for this year. I'm going to also look at what is, I think, more of a bare bones kit buildup. And then we're going to look at what are some other alternatives that you may want to consider from chassis and components and ready to run vehicles. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Troy. This is Roadside RC. You tend to find me crawling and bashing and drifting and racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. And recently, I've been getting a lot of questions coming in on the channel from folks that are curious about what components I'm using in my drift build, what chassis I'm running, all of this kind of stuff. And so here we are today to answer that question, plus give some other alternatives. So as we get started, we're going to first talk about my current drift build. We can't go anywhere without first talking about this body though. Can you see that? That is absolutely amazing. My buddy painted this up for me. It looks staggering. It is clearly the nicest drift body that I have ever had. And this is clearly something that you're going to need to look at if you were trying to copy my drift build, is if you're going to be getting a custom body like this, you're probably going to be paying on the order of $150 to maybe even $250 for someone to paint up a body full custom and create it like this for you. You will still have to work on mounting it afterwards, but this is item number one on your checklist of things that you will need. Underneath the body, of course, is where all the magic happens. So right now I am running the carbon fiber Sakura D5. This is the original rear motor version with the carbon fiber chassis that came out. Now you can't get this anymore. This was around a $200 chassis as it came with the carbon fiber and some of the upgrade bits and all this when it came out. There is currently still an available upgraded version even of this that comes with the carbon fiber, comes with the rear motor, and it comes with actually a lot of aluminum mounting points and things like that. That one's about $350. You're probably going to have to go, if you're going to copy my build, with the current D5 MR, which is a mid-motor version, but good news, it is actually even cheaper. These Sakura kits do come actually with tires and wheels out of the box. The problem is they don't actually work very well. So you're going to be purchasing tires and wheels anyway. Now the good news is basically no matter what you're gonna do, you're gonna end up buying a bunch of tires and wheels. It's just kind of part of the drift life. Good news is these are very cheap. So I believe these are the Yokomo wheels, which can be had for as little as like $24. And these are the Yokomo DRA tires, which I believe you can have all four of them for, again, like $16 shipped. So you can get the tires and wheels are pretty cheap. Onto the electronics, I am running the RWD RC servo, which is about $75. I'm currently running the GYD 470 gyro, which is around $90. I actually have been using this Hobby Wing. This is the XR10 stock spec. It's about just over $100, maybe $120, something like that. It's great, has turbo and boost setup. All that works flawlessly. Really have been very, very happy with it. It is currently paired with the RWD Absolute One 10.5 turn motor. Works great. It is a more expensive motor though. Just looking at this recently online, it was about $160, so it's a very expensive motor. When it comes to the transmitter and receiver, I am still running this older Futaba T4PV. They do not make this anymore. The current one is the 4PM. So that is what you'd be looking at if you were trying to copy it, along with a suitable receiver. A lot of times if you're buying it, it comes as a controller and receiver combo. But you can get that new 4PM for somewhere in the neighborhood of like $270, maybe a little bit cheaper, depending on where you find it. If you do look closely along through my chassis, you will see a lot of shiny screws in through here. I did actually go through and replace almost all the screws in the whole chassis with Yeah Racing titanium screws. I'll leave a link to the video down in this video's description. I'll leave a link to that video where I did that because nobody actually makes a titanium screw kit for the Sakura D5. I was able to find, thanks to a recommendation from a friend, I was able to find a screw kit for a different vehicle that just happened to have almost all the right screws, and that was in there to be able to save some weight off of my vehicle. The other thing you'll notice if you are a sharp-eyed viewer is that I'm actually running the inboard front suspension delete kit. So this is one that I was able to find online, where you can actually run an upright shock. I liked that because it then removed any kind of interference or anything that was up here related to the servo, just made an overall simpler setup. And then lastly, you're not going anywhere if you don't have power. I run lots of different batteries in this car, but I do run this red line from Gen's Ace. This is a 4000 milliamp, 130C battery. I do run this one whenever we're looking for the most performance, running some competitions and that kind of thing, because it has the most amount of power for the least amount of weight. So that is what I run in there, along with some bullet plugs. What does all of this add up to? If you were going to copy all of this build right now, buying all brand new stuff, you'd probably be looking at somewhere around $1,200. Now, let me be very clear though, I didn't spend anywhere near that. I actually went back and re-looked at a lot of what I spent on this, and some of it was used eBay purchases. I actually got the chassis used at a discount. The controller I paid less than half for, used, right? I bartered and traded with some friends. My buddy painted the body for me, so I didn't have to spend all that much on it. He did it for me as a favor. I just had to physically purchase the body itself. So that means I actually only have about $700 in this build. So drastic difference. So that means you can copy my build. You could buy everything brand new. I'll provide links down below in the video description. You could literally just buy all of it and you're going to spend around $1,200. Or you can be really thrifty with what you do and spend a lot less. And that takes us directly into part 2 of this video, which is, if I was going to be recommending to someone to build a kit today with more budget-oriented components, what are the ones that I would use compared to what you see here in my current build? First off is the chassis. There are so many chassis options out there. I would recommend the brand new Sakura D6, the mid-motor MR. They just came out with the V2 version of it, which fixed a lot of the little piddly things that people didn't like on the version 1. You can get that chassis now for like $100, maybe $130. Really one of the cheapest chassis that you can get out there. And the good news is, straight out of the box, build it just like it is, and dude, you're off and running with a really good performing chassis. You're not going to get around my Yokomo tire and wheel package for a total of somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 bucks. I do not recommend buying any of the Amazon brand drift wheels and tires. Fire brand, you want to stick with a good set of wheels, plastic wheels usually, and depending on where you drift, you may actually have a spec tire that you have to build. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to save any money there. Instead of that $75 RWD servo, I've actually run the AGF RC programmable digital drift servo also, and that is maybe about 10 bucks cheaper, so you can save that there. Or I actually haven't tested it yet, but I know of a few people that have run this Injora INJ SO14. It's a small metal geared low profile servo that actually, it's only $23, and people have had really good luck with it. So that saves you 50 bucks right there. On the gyro, you don't cut corners on gyros. Period. End of story. If you start looking at really cheap gyros, walk away, go save some more money, buy a good gyro, right? So like I said, I have that GYD 470. It's that $90 price range. There are a few other ones that are plus or minus 10 bucks, but that's about what you're gonna spend. Where you can really knock a big amount of dollars off of this whole thing is looking at stuff like the motor and the ESC. So I talked about that $125 Hobby Wing XR10 that I had in there. You can knock that all the way in half or more, all the way down to 50 bucks for the Hobby Wing 10 BL120. I have a whole video where I actually compared these two ESCs. Now, yes, you give up your turbo and boost, but honestly, for like 90% of people, that's okay. And now you've saved $75 just right on the ESC alone. On the motor is a very similar story. Like I said, that RWD motor right now, it seems like it's gone up in price a little bit. So it's about 160 bucks. I've also done a lot of testing with the Surpass motors, 10.5 turn, censored, timing adjustable, and they're less than $60. You save $100 right then, and I think for the majority of people, they won't actually be able to tell the difference. Controller is another one where you can save a bunch. So like I said, I'm still running this T4PV, which is a pretty older Futaba model, but I love it. I think it looks good. It works great. I'm very happy with it. The new 4PM is really, really nice, but $270. So if you're gonna go for a cheaper alternative, you can knock $100 off the price and go with the Futaba 3PV. $160. You're saving $110 right there, and does everything that you need it to, plus still has that good Futaba communication and works really well with the gyros and the servos and the ESC. Everything works great. Like I said, I'm running this Redline 45-50 bucks for this 4,000 milliamp Redline battery. You can cut that in half or less pretty easy by just watching Amazon. Shorty 2S lipos, 100C, still 4,000 milliamp. You can sometimes get these from Pavway, Awanfi, Ovonic. You could probably get these sometimes for less than $20, especially Black Fridays and things along those lines, kind of those sales that they run. You just keep your eye out, and a lot of times I'm constantly watching this, and so I will actually post up on my Facebook page. If you follow it, I'll be posting up when I see these deals. These batteries work really, really well, and they're like a fraction of the price of those Redlines. And then lastly comes to the body itself. So of course, like I said, if you're looking for a brand new custom painted body, you're going to be paying a significant amount of money for that. But I've been running this body for actually a year, 2 years now, something like that. I've been running it for quite a while, and it's been doing me great. I enjoy it. I really like it. Is it perfect? No, there are pieces missing. There's chunks missing. There's paint missing in places, all that kind of stuff. It has been used and abused, no doubt. But I was able to get this used for $25. I have other bodies that I bought from my friend and stuff that have been in the $50 range that look great, but are just ones that people have already previously used, are not in perfect shape, but get the job done. So you can do that. Plus there's some options, honestly, on Amazon that look rather good, especially for a very cheap price. I'll leave a link to some of those down in the video description. So all in, copying my full build, like I said, exactly as it is, was about $1,200. From everything that I just suggested right now, if you follow all that along, 600 bucks, literally half, $600, and you have a very high performing, very good rear wheel drive drift car that you basically need to change nothing on, and would be good for probably 90% of the folks out there for half of what you could buy all of my components for new. Part 3 of this video, though, is I do want to give you a couple other alternatives. All right, so first with the controller, I showed you the Futaba 4PM or the 3PV. I have actually also run this FlySky Noble. This is kind of right there with that 4PM when it comes to pricing, and really good. Best part about this is if you are left-handed, it actually has the ability to move that steering wheel easier than any other controller I've seen. So that would be where you'd probably want to get this one. From a chassis standpoint, again, I was telling you to buy the Sakura chassis. That's because, again, for performance per dollar, it's about the best that you can get. However, if you are willing to spend a little bit more, I would recommend the Yokomo has the YD2Z, which is about $260. So you are tacking on 100 plus to your price, but probably have a little bit more room to grow long term. The Yokomo chassis is a very popular chassis. MST is now just releasing their RMX 2.5 as a kit. That is going to be a very good chassis. Tends to be a little bit on the heavy side compared to some of the other ones, but the aftermarket support for it is great and everything like that. If you are just getting started, don't get any of the other MST chassis, please, please, please. I see people talking about, oh, I got the FXX or the FMX. All of those have the motor placement more in the front of the vehicle. That is not what you want. Yes, it seems like maybe it'll drive better. Yes, maybe it seems like it'll be more like real life. Yeah, you don't want any of that. As it turns out, you want all the weight over the rear tires as much as possible. So you are looking for a rear mid, so that motor all the way back over the rear axle or even behind it. And then lastly is the brand new RWD RDX chassis, which is 280, so even just a little bit more. But what I've seen from it so far looks like it has a lot of potential. Pretty lightweight chassis, pretty rear weight, high bias. I may actually, that's one that I've kind of got my eye on, and I think I might actually try to get sometime this year, and it may end up replacing my Sakura. Next up is the gyro. So again, I recommended the GYD 470. That is what I am currently running in my truck, and it does really, really well. Two other alternatives that are out there that I'd recommend for most people, the RWD Revox. It's actually a little bit more. Instead of 90, it's closer to 120. So a little bit more expensive there, but really great tuning options, drives beautifully, really, really good gyro, but it's gonna cost you that little bit more. A little bit cheaper, however, is the Yokomo DP302 V4. So this is a gyro that's been out for years, made by Yokomo. Make sure that you look at it. It is the DP302, not the YG. The YG literally is not even worth it as a paperweight. It is a piece of junk, but the DP does well. However, I'm gonna tell you, for someone new, I don't know if it's really very good or not. So as an example, my 13-year-old son, Logan, have him with the Yokomo Ready to Run chassis with lots of upgrades on it. We were at our local track. He was driving it with the DP302, struggling a little bit. I swapped him over to the Futaba gyro, and he was like, oh my gosh, Dad, it's so much easier to drive now. I can place the car where I want it. I love it. I mean, for him, it was like a light switch. And there's a lot of people out there that will default to telling you you should get the DP302. Now, the very last part of this story is going to be about these two ready-to-run vehicles. This is the Yokomo Ready to Run. Comes with the YD2Z chassis on it. Over here is the MST. This is currently an RMX 2.0, but like I said, MST has just released the 2.5 in the Ready to Run. This is $339 out of the box. $389 out of the box. So you're looking at something drastically cheaper than even the cheaper alternative that I gave you earlier when you're started. But at the end of the day, you're going to be putting a better gyro like that GYD 470 in here. You're going to be upgrading the controller like I did. This vehicle actually runs this Noble on this Yokomo. You're going to be putting a better servo in it. You're going to be still buying tires and wheels. When all of that is said and done, what it currently looks like for me is on this Yokomo, you're probably spending still like $640 to maybe $800 all in. Same thing over here on the MST, but a little bit in the same range, maybe $700 to maybe $850. All still in. So you get in cheaper, but you're going to end up spending a little bit of that money still kind of long term as you slowly upgrade these cars. I have a whole video about ready to run versus kit and which one you should start out with. So that will be linked down in the video description, because that's a little bit of a bigger topic than what it is here today. I hope that this video has been useful for you. However, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. And again, everything that I've talked about in this video will have links in the video description. So please go down there and look at it. It'll give you a link to more information on each one of the components, maybe some of the videos I've done that actually explain some of these things. All of that is going to be in a pretty hefty video description down below. So please expand it out down there, go down there, look at them, and go on. There'll be some other videos there that you might want to check out. So thank you, and goodbye.